Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Glenn Tan speaking. This time, I'm continuing to talk about GNV Water Cool series, the introductions. And this presentation divided into these 5 parts. And the next is the commissioning. And before commissioning, you need to do the electrical wiring and also the communication wiring. And just follow the instructions from the owner's manual to finish this tabs is okay. And here I will just show you some detail, and which is here is connect to the power ST1, and if the sequence is not correct, here the LED will be on. And then this one ST2 is for you to select either it is a water pump or adjusted valve. So this is to higher the efficiency of the water pump, also optional. And this one is for the communication wire D1, D2 and the G1, G2. And here is the special. This is the ST4 to connect the follow switch to ensure the connection, and the flow switch it should be function. And this is mandatory, which means you must connect it. As for the commissioning methods, it is completely the same as the air cool, which means you can do it from the outdoor main board and from the computer, which is the debugging software, or from the portable debugger. As for the commissioning procedure, this time is almost the same. So I just compare with the air cool, for example, the GMV5, and also you can find it. The first 1 to 8 is completely the same, no different. And as for the step 9 to step 15, we just cancel it for the water cool, because we need to adjust the water system, so it's not that easy. And for this one, we just cancel this. You can just but before that, which is before the step 8, it is completely the same. This is the outdoor unit disk switch setting, and compare with the air cool, for example GMV5, it is almost the same. So I will analyze one by one. First, the setting meaning. Also, here is, for example, the SA4. Here is the Y lever, which is this one. If it is at the on side, which is at on, you can also find it. On side, that means 0. On the opposite, that means 1. As for the SA1, it is also the same, means the capacity setting, which means also you can find it, there are some glues on it, means please no change. SA2 is for the central control adjust setting. SA3, this one is for the emergency setting of the compressor. As for the water cool, there is only one compressor in outdoor unit, so for this function we cancel it. And SA4 is for the emergency setting to shield the whole outdoor unit, so also it is available, we save it, keep it the same. And SA5 for the water cool, this time we change it to select either you connect with the water pump or connect with the adjustable valve, and later I will analyze this one. And as for the SA6 for the air cool, is for the ESP. For water cool, no need, cancel. And SA7 also it is reserved, also we cancel it. And the last is SA8, the same, we need to set the master or slave outdoor unit. And how to change it, also just change this Y lever, so you can change it from before is 0 0, and now will become 0, 1. And this is the detail of the SA5 pump setting. That means in park load condition, according to the system load, the outdoor unit, which is the control program, can adjust the water flow rate by the valve if you just connect it to optimize the water flow rate according to the temperature. And the purpose is just to lower the input power of the inverter water pump. That means if you need to connect with this adjustable valve to the outdoor unit, also you need to prepare this inverter water pump. And here you can also find that for 0, 0, that means you just connect with a water pump. This one, it is just on off. And if you change it to 1, 0, that means you can connect with the adjustable valve. And this is the graph to show you that you can also find it if in park load condition, which is this area. You can save the water flow rate, which is to lower the input of the inverter water pump to save power of the water pump to further improve the system efficiency. And the next is for the detailed function setting inside the control program. And how to set it, I will just display a video for your reference how to enter the setting of the GMV water. And for example, you need to select an AA, which is the after sales vacuum function. And here is how to enter. First, press this as SW3, and then press SW1 and 2 to select AA. And then press SW7 to confirm. And press again to ensure. So you can already activate the AA function. So for the GMV water, and here is all the function codes this time we're going to talk about, and which is the A6 to select the whole system, either it is the cooling heating of the system, and AA, it is after sales vacuum pumping. That means if you select this one, we will turn on all the solenoid valve and the EXV, ensure there's no dead zone in the system. Next is N2. N2 is to change the indoor unit divide the outdoor unit capacity ratio. The default setting is 135. The upper limit you can change it to 150. And N5 is to reset all the indoor unit engineering SN. That means the address. And the NC is to change the low temperature for heating, and later I will display this one. And also the NF is to change the water flow rate adjustable valve max opening setting. And NF, water flow rate adjustable valve max opening period setting. That means, for example, this is the adjustable valve, and we need to adjust the period required from closed states to max opening states, which means we adjust the sensitivity of this device. You can also find it according to different code from closed state to max opening period. This time also different. We just change the sensitivity. Next is NC, which is the low water temperature for heating. And as you know that in heating mode, we just cool down the water, right? And then if the water is lower than the freezing point, it releases to the water system frozen, which may damage the system, right? And then also from the operating range for heating, our lower limit of the water in is 10 degree. And if you would like to beat a lower water in temperature, and beside you need to add some antifreeze into the water system, and also on the setting of this one SNC, you also need to change it. And the lowest limit of the water in is -8, indicates the freezing point it can be -15. And here is the different code according to different water in temperature. Our default setting is 10, so it will be 0, 0. Next is anti-freezing solution. The purpose of it is to avoid the water from frozen in heating mode. As you know that for the heating mode, we just cool down the water, right? And the water is very easy to be frozen, especially inside the preheat exchanger, which is the coldest. And also, here is an example. You can also find it. The water will just expand it, which is become the ice, and make it to be cracked, which make the system to be damaged. And if the water enter the refrigerant system, it will just making a disaster. And the method is to lower the freezing point. And the detailed solution is either you need to add some glycol solution or the saline into the water system. And here is the glycol solution concentration and the freezing point relation. According to different concentration, and this freezing point also it will be different. And basically in China we just use this freezing point detector. It is very easy, and here is you can check the detail, and you can just put some water here, and then what you can see is this one from here. And from here, here is the freezing point, and this one is the glycol concentration, which means for example for this case it is the freezing point is -20, and the concentration for this one is 35, which is go to this one, about this. Next is the maintenance. As you know that we apply the preheat exchanger to exchange heat, which require the water quality to be very high. And due to this, we prohibit to directly use the underground water, well water, and lake water, etc. And here is the detailed requirement of the water quality. And besides, you need to also periodically clean the water system to avoid the waterscape or the sediments generation. And this is also very similar to the chiller. You can just follow the steps to clean the water system. It's okay. That's all for this part of the presentation. If you still have any other question, just feel free to contact me on my personal email address.